Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally and internationally, and I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse on YouTube and TikTok subsequently. I continue on my topic, the soul and the journey that the soul needs to take in these material universes. And it becomes harder and harder as we enter different centuries, different times, different spaces. It just gets harder to teach when so many systems present themselves and the soul is misguided, misdirected, disillusioned, that it just continues to take body after body after body. Gonna see, my white fan. Small one, it's in a room, so you can get an extension. Put it on blink quite hot. Coming back, I don't know if my devotees noticed I posted three podcasts. 3 podcasts. So the Guru does not do anything in a haphazard manner. Whatever the Guru does is predetermined for a positive outcome whenever he gets into any actions or discussions. And I've been discussing for a while now a particular personality that went to Sri Rangam Ashram. Sri Rangam Ashram has been existing for thousands of years until Lord Sri Ramanuj 1,000 years ago became the head of that ashram, which is situated in Tamil Nadu in India. Lord Sri Ramanuj spent 60 years of his life in that ashram, Sri Rangam Ashram, re-establishing Sanatana Dharma. I want you to understand the word re-establishing Sanatana Dharma. What does the word re-establish mean?
It was already in place.
It was already in place. For some reason, it got cut out and he put the original back in place. I want you to understand it like this. So even now, today, as I'm delivering this discourse, most Hindus, 99.9% Hindus around the world are cut from the Vedas. Yes or no?
Yes.
And you need somebody to re-establish your link to the Vedas. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is what Lord Sri Ramanuj did. But in his time, 1,000 years ago, there was no printing press. There was? When was the printing press invented? When do you think the printing press was invented? When do you think the printing press was invented? What, 100 years ago?
Yes.
Technology. So how you think Lord Ramanuj re-established Sanatana Dharma?
Through the Vedas.
Yes, but so there were no books. There were no books.
Those leaves.
So the Bhagavad Gita was written on palm fronds. The Mahabharata was written on palm fronds. 100,000 verses. Ramayana 24,000 verses. The 10 main Upanishads, thousands of verses. And Lord Ramanuj had to unbundle this palm fronds in such a way that they would not break. They would not break. Then he had to go all the way from South India to Kashmir. How far is Kashmir? It's on the other end of India, is it not?
Yes.
So he undertook an arduous journey all the way to Kashmir, where the only copy of the Vedanta Sutra was in existence. All the way to Kashmir, and it was difficult for him to get this copy of Vedanta Sutra, but God in His wisdom sent a disciple with him who had photographic memory, and he would go through the Vedanta Sutra and have it retained, and when it was time, he reproduced this memory of the Vedanta Sutra. And all this is happening 1,000 years ago. In 60 years, he painstakingly, by corroborating his re-establishment with thousands of references to Vedic injunctions, thousands of references to Vedic injunctions, he managed in his lifetime to re-establish Sanatan. So as I said, when you re-establish something, it has to be connected back to its original. Have to be connected back to its original. Who is the original compiler of the Vedas? Veda?
Yes.
Vyas. And who in reality is Veda Vyas? A partial incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Avatar. Then since I started my preaching, I would always allude to this fact. And I think you all must have heard it a myriad of times. That transcendental knowledge is the essence of the Supreme Lord. Transcendental knowledge is the essence of the Supreme Lord. It is one of His attributes. It is one of His attributes. Then I said, the Lord did not trust man with this knowledge. The Lord did not trust man with this knowledge because man has the essence of cheating in him. Tell me which human being does not have the essence of cheating in him? Okay? How many memories of cheating you have? I'm asking you in front of all your parents. It is instinctive of man to cheat. Man has the cheating propensity, does he not? So God did not give man the opportunity to deliver the Vedas. What did He do? He compiled it Himself through His partial incarnation as Veda Vyas. Veda Vyas means the compiler of the Vedas. Then He Himself, through sages and saints, distributed this information. But that was not enough because God does not trust man. So He incarnated as Lord Ram and lived the teachings of the Vedas that He promulgated. Yes? So if you read the Ramayana, and I'm referring to Valmiki's Ramayana, throughout the Ramayana there are references to various Vedic injunctions. There are references to various Vedic injunctions in which the Lord lived and referenced His own teachings. It's simple. It's simple to understand. So, the Supreme Lord is the source of transcendental knowledge. The Supreme Lord is the compiler of transcendental knowledge. The Supreme Lord is the distributor of transcendental knowledge, and the Supreme Lord is the enactor of transcendental knowledge. When I'm say all this, has this been proven? The Supreme Lord appear as Lord Ram? Did he appear as Lord Krishna? Did he deliver the Bhagavad Gita as Lord Krishna? Personally? In the Mahabharata? And the Mahabharata was compiled by Veda Vyas and written by Lord Ganesha. Can you see any man involved here? Again, I'm asking the question, why did the Lord gave man to make bridges, make skyscrapers, nuclear bombs. What has man not made on this planet Earth? Spaceships, the rockets, spaceships that can go out of the Earth's atmosphere, submarines that can go underneath. But God did not give man authority for the initiation of transcendental knowledge. Yes? I'm saying this to impress upon you that no man or Devi or Devta are superior beings. You're a human being. Higher than a human being is a Devi and Devta. God did not give human beings the authority. God gave 12 authorities on his Vedas. How many? 12. And not just any 12, he listed it. He listed it. So if you want information on the Supreme Lord, and if that information is not enough, then God nominated 12 authorities. You think it's a logical thing to do?
Yes.
So these are the 12 authorities. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, Text 22. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka Maharaj, Grandfather Bhisma, Bali Maharaja, Sukadeva Goswami, and I myself know the real religious principle. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavata Dharma, or to surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead. And that I is not me, Acharya Sham Ramanuj. This is Mr. Yamraj. This is Mr. Yamraj speaking to the Yamadutas. The Yamadutas are his men, and he was advising them when his men went to take a soul. And there was a huge problem because Lord Narayan also sent his men to pick up the soul. So at this point in time, Lord Yamraj spoke this verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3. What are you learning from this? What are you understanding? That a perfect system for attaining transcendental knowledge has been created by the Supreme Lord. Yes or no? A perfect system and an efficient system, an authorized system, because what happens when you do not receive knowledge in an authorized system created by the Supreme Lord Himself?
That's danger.
You get these 3 podcasts that are posted on Facebook. So there are 3 Mahajanas on this podcast. There are 3 self-created Mahajanas. They come from a system called Bhakti Marga. Bhakti Marga, not Murga. Bhakti Marga. And their guru calls himself Paramhamsa Vishwananda. Paramhamsa Vishwananda. So my interest is that Paramhamsa Vishwananda went to Sri Rangam Ashram and took his initiation from the Sri Sampradaya. Then his 3 disciples, on these 3 podcasts that I shared on my page, violates and contradicts all the hard work that Lord Sri Ramanuj put, and all the hard work the subsequent Acharyas put for the past 1000 years to date. Remember, the Sri Sampradaya is the only spiritual institution in the world that has been in constant spiritual continuation for 1005 or 6 years now, in a row. In a row. The Sri Sampradaya is existing. The spiritual lights have been turned on by Lord Sri Ramanuj 1006 in 2017. 2017 was the 1000th birthday of Lord Ramanuj. It is 7 years later, so this year would have been his 1007th birthday, and then if you remove 100 years from 1007, how much you get? 9? 970. 99? 970. Yeah, if you remove 100 years, you get 970 years. So, for 970 years, the Sri Sampradaya has been in perpetual spiritual existence. It means that the spiritual light was on for 970 years. Now, I don't know what to call this person, honestly. But he goes to Sri Rangam, he takes initiation under a guru who is still alive today, from Sri Rangam, and he discards all the teachings of that guru that initiated him, and the entire Sri Sampradaya Lord Ramanuj's teachings. And his Mahajanas are now saying that he is an avatar. I want you to follow me. I spoke earlier that the Lord warned against false philosophers. Quite consistently I gave this discourse, did I not? Yes. And the Lord said that it is better to have no knowledge than to have false knowledge. Because false knowledge is like drinking milk that a poisonous snake drank from. Yes? So if you have a saucer of milk and a poisonous snake sipped that milk, Sita, and if you drank that milk, what would happen to you?
Die.
So at the moment, there's around 50,000 people who are spiritually dying around the world because they believe this man is an avatar. So let's use logic. Let us use logic. So avatar means when the Lord descends. Avatar means when the Lord descends. Avir, I want you to couple the three podcasts and run it with this discourse. And run it with this discourse. I am responding to this madness. I am responding to this madness. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm calling this madness. Every now and again we get God taking his birth on earth. Yes? And who are the first people to be fooled? The West. The West. They're looking for an Indian God. Alright? So, these people are using the Bhagavad Gita in those podcasts. So I'm speaking strictly from the podcast, but I don't have time. So my reason for rebutting this Paramhansa and his existence is because I have given over 1,000 discourses on Sanatana Dharma based on the teachings of Lord Ramanuja. Yes? What happens to my 1,000 discourses when somebody else also claims to be from the Sri Sampradaya? Because when you look at the dots, it's exactly the same. But now they made it in a V and they changed the color. But yeah, on the podcast they say they have a reason for that. Because they say, well, this tilak is a foot print of Lord Narayan. You'll know this tilak represents the foot of Lord Narayan. So they changed it and they said that Lord Narayan changes his posture all the time. So they changed the footprint. Okay, that's a Vedic injunction. That is a Vedic injunction by the three Mahajanas of Paramahamsa Vishwananda. His three Mahajanas, they said they changed the tilak. So my point is, the Supreme Lord is infinite, is he not? Supreme means he can do anything. Yes? Anytime? Yes? Any place? Yes. Why would the Supreme Lord go to Sri Rangam? Same Supreme Lord who wrote the Vedas, because now they say he is Krishna. Same Supreme Lord whose essence is the Vedas, that Supreme Lord now goes to the principal Sampradaya in Vaishnavism, the Sri Sampradaya. That Supreme Lord takes initiation from a Guru in the Sri Sampradaya, then that Supreme Lord now kicks out his own Vedic injunctions and creates another Sampradaya. Why do you have to go to Sri Rangam now? I want to know this avatar. Because God's supposed to be logical. God's supposed to be logical. God's supposed to be reasonable. God's supposed to give you information which you can assimilate and digest easily. Why would Lord Krishna now destroy the work of Lord Ramanuj? Because this is what, in essence, these three podcasts are stating. Why is this avatar so confused? They even said, I don't know, I didn't have a good look at him. I see him appearing on my phone every now and again. But they're saying he's black, just like Krishna. That's the reason, that's one of the Vedic injunctions. He is black like Krishna. How many Krishnas we can have in this world? Sri Lanka?
Three-quarters of Africa.
Are you understanding? One of the criteria they're using, they said his face is black. That is why he's Krishna. So, what would be this avatar's reason? Again, I'm asking, this is where I get involved directly, because I am teaching this teaching that has existed for 1,000 years in continuity. I've done over 1,000, 1.5 hour discourses on this teachings of Lord Ramanuj. And then God comes and messes up all my discourses. From my institution, an avatar comes and messes up all my discourses. Now I have to, which avatar do I follow?
The black one.
Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
Who do you follow? Because you've been following me for so many years. Now you hear an avatar is around and connected to Sri Rangam, not anywhere else. I don't care about these other avatars. There's thousands of them around at the moment, yes or no?
Yes.
But I care because I belong to this institution, the Sri Sampradaya. All my information that I give out to the world comes from this Sri Sampradaya. And then yesterday I had the opportunity of from these three Mahajanas. Today morning I also spent 2 hours listening to the third podcast where they say they refute Lord Ramanuj's Brahma Sutras. They refute it. Lord Ramanuj's Brahma Sutras, which he took 60 years to compile, these three Mahajanas, 2 whites and an Indian that speaks like a white, these 3 Mahajanas, they refute this 1,000-year-old work. And not respectfully, disrespectfully. Disrespectfully. And so who compiled all Vedic knowledge? Who compiled it? Vedic knowledge is the essence of God, so nobody can claim to be its author. Yes? But we need a compiler. Who compiled all Vedic knowledge? Veda Vyas. They have their own Veda Vyas. They created their own Vedanta and they launched it on this morning's podcast. How mad is that? How mad is that? That this universe is 155 trillion years old at this point in time. And all that existed transcendentally in terms of knowledge for 155 trillion years, this avatar boots it out. This avatar and his 3 Mahajanas and his 50,000 followers boots out knowledge that has been in existence for 155 trillion years, because the Vedas is inserted into the universe as a disk and then the universe comes alive. The Vedas is inserted in the universe as a disk and then the universe comes alive. Like how you have a plan for this house. First, your architect draws a plan and then the house is manifested, yes? Similarly, the Vedas are inserted into the ethereal atmosphere before life takes form on this universe. And then 155 trillion years later, the Lord decides, hey, I made a mistake. 155 trillion years later, Lord Krishna realizes he made a mistake. Then to rectify that mistake, of all the places in this world, he goes to Acharya Sham Ramanuj Sri Ranga. And takes his initiation. And then he destroys in one master stroke all of Acharya Sham Ramanuj's discourses from the Sri Rangam ashram. Lord Sri Krishna made a huge mistake. Alright? Can you believe that bull? Huh? And the bull in the 3 podcasts? And the bull, what Vedanta means? Do you know what Vedanta means? Veda means, Anta means end. Vedanta means end of knowledge. So the Vedas are divided into 4 parts. The Samhitas, where you get all your rituals, the Brahmanas, the Aryanakas, and the Upanishads. This is how the Vedas are divided. Your Samhitas, your Brahmanas, your Aryanakas, and your Upanishads. The Upanishad is declared as the end of knowledge. So if God is saying knowledge has ended, then in 2024, how you starting the ended knowledge? Is Lord Krishna confused? Or is this mere bull? You agree? So from time to time, I don't want to mention names, but many personalities take their birth stating they are avatars. Stating they are avatars. So I'm still trying to understand. It's there in a podcast. I'd like all of you all to listen to it in your time. I think it's your duty as a faithful follower of the Lord Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. I want you to go and listen to the 3 Mahajanas and listen to and compare with what I am saying. So their justification, they used this verse on the podcast twice. Chapter 15, verse 15. So they started from the middle, that's where I'm going to go. Indeed, I alone am to be known from all the Vedas. He's saying, this is what Lord Krishna is saying. Indeed, I alone am to be known from all the Vedas. Full stop. I bring about the fruition of the rituals of the Vedas, semicolon. I alone am the knower of the Vedas. Alright? And then they say, he is an avatar, so he is the Vedas. Paramahamsa Vishwananda is now the Vedas. Because Lord Krishna says, he alone is the Vedas and the knower of the Vedas, and because he is now an avatar, so he is the Vedas. This is called text torturing, and only idiots can buy into this. Only idiots can buy into this. Yes or no? You think an avatar can just appear all of a sudden? Okay, let's look at it in this way. How big is the Sri Sampradaya in the world? Quite big, but the people of the world do not understand what the Sri Sampradaya is about. Yes? They have no knowledge, no technical knowledge of the Sri Sampradaya, but it is quite big. They have this dot, people see this dot, don't they? Around the world, we have Chinnajeev Swami, we have my Guruji, we have a lot of high-ranking personalities in the Sri Sampradaya. Don't we?
Yes.
In India, how many million of people you think belong and follow the Sri Sampradaya? Hundreds of millions throughout India. We follow in logic. If an avatar emanated from the Sri Sampradaya, which is our headquarters, if an avatar emanated from the Sri Sampradaya at Sri Rangam, which is our headquarters, my headquarters and all the ashrams in India and around the world from the Sri Sampradaya, our headquarters is Sri Rangam. If an avatar emanated from Sri Rangam, who we all would have been following? Won't we have been the most excited of all the Sri Vaishnavites? An avatar emanated from our Sri Sampradaya. Is any Sri Sampradaya accepted this man? Anyone from Sri Sampradaya acknowledge him? Are we bowing down to him? Are we praying to him? Are we running after him? Do we need to run after him? Yes. He's desecrated the teachings of Lord Ramanuj. We need to catch him and his Mahajanas and remove this tila from the head. Don't you think? Don't you think he has an audacity to use a trademark of another institution and then reject all that teachings from that institution through his disciples? Don't you think? So this is where we are at this point in time, and I'm currently preparing the structure of my autobiography as requested by the university, and I was making notes there that I am an activist from the age of 14 or 15. And when this activism was planted in me, I never turned back. And Mataji is here. I can lose anything in pursuance of the truth. And when I was in the material world, and if there was a business deal in which I was going to profit millions, but if that deal was fraudulent, then I would rather have the person arrested than make a profit from that deal, because I am an activist. My Guru's son, from whom I took initiation, my own Guru's son, who initiated me in 2013 in India, when he abused his mother, I attacked him. I attacked him at the expense of my own popularity as a guru around the world. Did I do that or not?
Yes.
I sacrificed my popularity, but I attacked my gurus son who gave me initiation. You think I'm going to let this incident go unchecked? Don't you think they have a damn nerve to go on a podcast wearing my regalia, dressed like me, and rejecting my entire system? And rejecting my entire system. What type of people will do this? Demonic people will only go and reject an existing proven system. Has the Sri Sampradaya not a proven system? It's the only system that's existing for 1,000 years in a row. And by disputing the teachings of Lord Ramanuj, by accepting a philosophy that Lord Ramanuj fought against, the Advaita philosophy, the Veda philosophy, these people went and reinstated that philosophy on this podcast, which is in total contradiction to the Guru system. What do we know about the Guru system? How does the Guru system work? How does it work? A Guru has to be a disciple first. A Guru has to be a disciple first, and when he has cleansed himself through all the processes as desired by his Guru gives him transcendental knowledge. His Guru got the same transcendental knowledge in the same way from his Guru. So basically, the Guru-disciplic relationship is like this. I got this Bhagavad Gita from my Guru. I must take this Bhagavad Gita and give it to my disciple. My disciple must take this Bhagavad Gita and give it to his disciple. And his disciple must take the Bhagavad Gita and give it to his disciple untainted. I must not change what my Guru gave me. And my disciple must not change what I gave him, because what does transcendental knowledge mean? It's coming from the spiritual realm. And what do we know of the spiritual realm? It is eternal. What eternal means? It exists in the same condition all the time. It exists in the same condition all the time. When you change something, what happens to his existence? Can eternal knowledge be changed? As soon as you change eternal knowledge, what will happen to the disk that was inserted for the creation of this universe? Do you know in every creation, the same Vedas are used in every creation. The same disk is used in every creation. The same disk, the same Vedas, the same 545,000 verses of the Vedas is used in every creation. Why is it used in every creation? Because it's eternal. Something that is eternal cannot be changed. And God is eternal. You're limiting by changing. Verdict injunctions, you are saying that God is a fool. You are saying that God is a fool because all this knowledge belongs to the Supreme Lord. Transcendental knowledge, verdict knowledge is the essence of the Supreme Lord. The Lord never trusts you at creation. Lord never trusts you at creation. You think He'll trust you now, 155 trillion years later, and come down Himself and change everything. Does it make sense? So, Lord Krishna, in the 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita, He left us everything. He left us everything. And Arjuna represented humankind. Let's hope I can find it quickly. Did Arjuna ask the Lord questions?
Yes.
And what was one of the things that Arjuna asked him to prove? What did Arjuna ask him? Did Arjuna request the Lord to show him his universal form? Did Arjuna request him to show him his Narayana form? Can I ask Paramhamsa Vishwananda as Arjuna to show me your Narayan form? Because I also shared another video where there is a Western girl who said she heard some noises under her bed. And when she went under her bed, she saw a huge black thing. No, first she saw Paramhamsa Vishwananda under the bed. She saw that form. Then that form became Nrsimha Deva. And then when he was walking out of the door, he became Paramhamsa Vishwananda again. So if this girl can see that, don't you think me as a guru, a loyal guru of my Sri Sampradaya, where he also took his initiation from, don't you think if I formally ask him, please show me your universal form, please show me your Narayana form. Lord Krishna had to give Arjuna special vision. Lord Krishna had to give Sanjaya special vision to see all of this. Lord Krishna had to give Vedavyas special vision to see all of this. don't give me special vision. Don't give me special vision. Come to my ashram here in South Africa, 28 Dunstable Crescent, Reservoir Hills. You have many devotees in South Africa. Come to my ashram, and I have eyes to see all your divine forms. I have eyes to see all your divine forms. Then I will also reject my sampradaya and follow you. I'm a loyal person. I come from a military background. If you provide me evidence, I will follow you. Up until then, I'm going to attack every podcast with the truth, because I cannot allow any Tom, Dick and Harry to desigrate this great Sri Sampradaya or the Sri Rangam temple. By your Mahajanas making these allegations, what are you doing to 1,000 years of spirituality? In effect, what are they doing to 1,000 years of spirituality? Those people on the outside who do not know the technicalities on which this Guru is availing himself, how are they seeing Sri Rangam and Paramhamsa Vishwananda? How are they seen? People who do not know. Ordinary people, people that just catch a few drifts here and there on social media. Aren't they seeing him as an extension of the Sri Sampradaya and the Sri Ramanut Sampradaya? And if he is claiming to be an avatar, aren't they seeing him as an avatar of the Sri Sampradaya? Yes? So don't you think we need to ask him to respectfully recuse himself from being associated with the Sri Sampradaya, so that there is no confusion? This planet Earth is very, very big. Is it not very big? Don't confine yourself to the Sri Rangam. Take a portion of the earth yourself. Create your own foundation. What would you think? What you think would be his reason to take initiation from the Sri Sampradaya in the first place?
Get credibility.
To get credibility. Had he not taken his initiation at the Sri Sampradaya and used it for his credibility, because he didn't say on day one, I'm an avatar. When he's supposed to say he's an avatar? Ram? Day one, he's supposed to go to Sri Rangam, he's supposed to tell the Guru, I am an avatar, but initiate me. Yes? Did he do that? About 5 years ago, now he's claiming to be an avatar. Just about 5 or 6 years ago, and he created his own system. And his personality is now the source of that system. So there's going to be a very, very big confusion in the Sri Ramanut Sampradaya and this avatar. And we want to ensure that we retain our status quo. We continue to aspire through the teachings of Lord Sri Ramanuj, and we continue to exist as the Sri Sampradaya in its entirety. So, what you think happens to the souls now? That 50,000 souls that following him, who they think they following? Lord Krishna. They following Lord Krishna. Again, I want you to do a realistic analysis. The Sri Sampradaya is in existence for, I told you, 1,000 years. Then there is another sect, Ramananda Rishi, you heard of him? Ramananda Rishi. He had a dream from Lord Ramanuj. He had a dream and he formed a very, very big sect. It's through Nepal and he claimed to be a incarnation of Lord, is an avatar of Lord Ram. But he had a dream of Lord Ramanuj and he started his mission exactly the same way like this, from the Sri Sampradaya, from Sri Rangam, but he had a dream. Then there's another guru, Swami Narayan, you heard of him? There's Swami Narayan temples, huge, beautiful temples. There's one in Delhi, there's another one just got completed in America. He also had a dream. BAPS, I think they call it BAPS, or there's one in Dubai as well. He also had a dream from Lord Ramanuj. From Lord Ramanuj, and his devotees say he's an avatar of Lord Narayan. And now we got another avatar, all connected to Sri Ramanuj. All connected either in dream, and I think this one was more brave. He actually went there and took his. What happens to Sanatana Dharma when you hear of stories like this? Ashmita, you think your mother and father will ever come back to this ashram? It took us so long to bring them here. And when they hear stories like this, you think they'll have interest in God anymore? In Sanatana Dharma? Huh? Confusion within confusion within confusion. So do you think I have a right to refute?
Yes.
On the same platform that they broadcasted on. They went onto a social media platform and they broadcasted from social media. So I'm refuting this. But again I said I want you to think. I want you to research. God is logical and we're refuting in a logical way. The Sri Sampradaya is existing mostly in India for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years. Do you see a mass of people following the Sampradaya, or you see a fair amount of people in all these ashrams just existing? Do you see a frenzy? Do you see a mass exodus of people? Or you see each ashram is placed in a particular geographical location and people attend these ashrams, 200, 300, 100, 500. Spiritual masters, bona fide spiritual masters, do not have mass followers. Go research it. Go research it. Bona fide spiritual masters do not create a frenzy in society. They do not create madness in society. They live in society in such a way as not to cause any disturbance. They don't do mass initiations. This mass initiation started from ISKCON. ISKCON went into the West and started initiating people in madness. You understand? But you'll see all the bona fide ashrams, all the bona fide spiritual masters, they just teach you. Their job is to, and not to convert. Bona fide spiritual master's job is to teach you. Whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a colored, whether you're a black, whether you're a German, the job of a bona fide spiritual master is simply to teach you. Those that from previous lifetimes have been close disciples of the Guru, they will come and take their initiation. They will come and take their initiation. So if you go around India, you'll see I'm talking about Guru institutions. There is no madness, no chaos there. You understand? Why? Because of the frequencies of bona fide spiritual masters. On what frequency you think bona fide spiritual masters exist? Okay, let me explain. Spirituality is converting matter into energy. Spirituality is converting matter into energy, and materialism is connecting energy into converting energy into matter. You understand? When you are attached to matter, your frequency is very low. Because when you are attached to matter, the division of matter and energy in your system, matter is more because you are attached to matter. Does it make sense? When you are attached to matter, your energy frequency is very, very low, and when you are attached to spirit, then the matter in your body converts to higher levels of energy. When you connect it to spirit, the matter in your body converts to higher level of energy. So you know the story of chakras. I'm not going to go too much there, but the chakras need to be aligned so that your energy levels increases. You go from your energy that is stored in your spine, goes from your spine to your head, to your nasal and back, and there is a circulation now of this energy. At the moment when you attach to matter, this energy is not circulating in your body. Alright? So gurus are more energy than matter, and their vibration will be very, very high. When you have a high vibration, you cannot connect to a low vibration. Use physics. I'm using physical science here. Physics, natural science. When you are of a high frequency and matter is of a low frequency, you cannot connect to a whole lot of matter. Yes or no?
Yes.
But gurus who portray themselves as spiritual gurus, that have an attraction to matter would have thousands of followers, because matter and matter. Those gurus of a low frequency, the energies are low, will have a attraction to disciples, and disciples will have an attraction to them. I'm talking physical science. Yes or no?
Yes.
And this is how you'll see all bona fide gurus. See Swami Chinnajaya Swami. Is he a well-known and respected guru in the Sri Sampradaya?
Yes.
I went and stayed at his ashram. I was there for 6 days. We did Krishna Janma Astami at his ashram. How big you expect, how many people would you have expected to celebrate in his ashram on Sri Krishna Janma Astami? How many people would you have expected? Yeah, there was about 500 people. I was there. I was there, you understand? Because as I'm saying, so gurus will attract people on, bona fide gurus will attract people like Strini. He came to ashram after 2 weeks and became a very vegetarian, non-smoker, non-drinker. After 2 weeks, I didn't even know his name. I didn't even know his name, but after 2 weeks of meeting the Guru, because his frequency was high. His frequency was high. It was more energy and less matter. So when you see these gurus got 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 people following them, you must know they are not spiritual gurus, they are material gurus, and that is how their frequencies are attracting each other. Because those people that they attract is more matter than energy. You understand? For these people to have went on this podcast and refuted the teachings of Lord Ramanuj, it means they are not realized souls. Because a realized soul will never ever go on a podcast and refute the teachings of Lord Ramanuj. For context, I say teachings of Lord Ramanuj. In fact, it's not even teachings of Lord Ramanuj. Lord Ramanuj just re-established it's the teachings of the Supreme as compiled by Vedavyas. All Lord Ramanuj did was take the teaching of Vedavyas that seemed lost and re-established it in the book form of the Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta Sutra. All of you are understanding? So even Lord Ramanuj did not claim a philosophy. Lord Ramanuj did not claim a philosophy. That philosophy of Vishesh Advaita, other people long after Lord Ramanuj started stating, Sanatan Dharma has no philosophy. It is simply Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is Sanatan Dharma as compiled by Vedavyas. If there was a philosophy to be attached to Sanatan Dharma, Vedavyas would have attached it right at the beginning when he compiled the Vedas. Do you understand? So, you can go and make your own comments on these podcasts. I think, you see, the Sri Sampradaya or the gurus from India, they don't care what happens. It's a very good thing, but it also can be a bad thing, especially now that our Sampradaya is being used to catapult a particular narrative which is in contradiction to our Sampradaya. Then we should attack it. We should attack it, and I think by these gurus not attacking this man, and that's what I'm hearing from the podcast, they are saying that the Sri Sampradaya have accepted them because nobody is complaining about the manner in which the Guru took initiation, and they say this. The Guru did take initiation from Sri Rangam and he left, and they also say that the Guru who gave initiation won't be happy with what they are doing. They saying this. So they can come right out on the surface and say this, and this is why I am responding. I'm responding because they have become very complacent. So it would be, Avid, you'll have some work. Yeah, try and make this a response to these people. All right. So they got hundreds of people that's going to attack me on this. I'm alone, but I'm not alone. You understand? I'm alone, but I'm not alone. If this came to me, I didn't look for this. If it appeared on my YouTube on its own, then God wants me to refute this transgression and sanctify and bring the Sri Rangam ashram back to its original status quo. Would Lord Ramanuj be its custodian? Are there any questions? Okay. Jai Shri Narayana.